evening, everyone. I welcome you to the November 9th regularly scheduled meeting of the Lamar County School Board. Before we get started, I've asked Mr. Jeremy Chance to lead us in a word of prayer.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all here tonight, Lord. Thank you for helping guide us and then guide our decisions and give us the wisdom to make decisions for this district, Lord. We know that we can't do it without you. These things we ask in your name. Amen.
Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Item number 2 on the agenda are meeting procedures. This is basically means if you have not already been pre-approved to speak before the board or to present before the board, you cannot speak at this time. And we also have some agendas in the back. I think Mr. King has some of you on the agenda. Mr. Steen, sorry. We can get those to you. All right, item number 3 is the approval of the general agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 4 is a presentation by Community Bank. Mr. Mayor.
You give me the dash. Come on. Come on. Right here. We are excited again this year to be able to donate money to the Lamar County Early Learning Collaborative. Great program, and we can make everybody aware that the opportunity to use your state tax dollars that's in Jackson, you have the opportunity to put them here in Lamar County in our school district. This provides funding to send pre-K kids to school. It's a dollar-for-dollar tax credit for the state, and not every district in the state participates, but we do, and I'm proud the bank is able to participate each year again this year.
Yes, thank you. And anyone can do this. This could be a business. This could be an individual can do this as well. I've asked Jenny if she would talk a bit about what some of the things we use our pre-K tax credit money. It's not a donation. It's actually a credit. And so would you like to?
Yes, because of this additional funding, we are one of 16 early learning collaboratives in the state, and through that, our legislators allow us to get funding, additional funding, to help support our programs through a tax credit, because actually we don't receive enough money by being in the collaborative in order to fund the program completely on its own with the grant funds. So these funds are very important to our programming and sustaining it. We have expanded our program using these funds. I looked back in 2013 when I came on to this position. We had 1 half-day pre-K program, and now we have 13 classes and serve 260 students. So it's a great program. Also, through this, it allows our pre-K students in the district to take field trips. And I know people probably think, oh, well, field trips, that's frivolous. But they're very important for young children to have exposure to things that normally they would not get to see and do. It builds background knowledge for them. And so it allows them to have that opportunity to get out and experience things that they normally wouldn't get to do. Also, it gets print in the hands of 4-year-olds. In our, well, actually, some of our donated funds go to the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which is a program that Dr. Hampton speaks very highly of. His children benefited from it. That all we have to do is if you live in Lamar County, you register, and your child will receive 1 book a month in the mail. And because research shows that when children are exposed to print in the home, even if nobody picks it up and reads it to them, that they advance much quicker than a child that has no print in the home. And so there's lots of research out there on that. And so not only the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, but also I want to make sure that everybody knows that the donated funds go to help our child care centers in Lamar County also, not just our 260 kids that we serve in the district, but for example, this month, every 4-year-old, if they're in a child care center in Lamar County, they will receive a book, and it's this month it's A Time to Sleep, and it's a book about hibernation. And there's parent activities that go home with it, so the parents can interact with their child using that book. And I think next month it's a snowy day, and I think everybody's familiar with that. And there's a painting activity that goes with it, so that the child can paint, and the paint's provided along with that. So it enhances experiences for our children across Lamar County, not just the 260 that are in our sitting in our pre-K classrooms in the district. So we greatly appreciate it. If you guys can help us get the word out about this tax credit donation, and if you need more information, don't hesitate to give me a call, and I'll try to help you. So.
Thank you. Yes. You were to the picture. Thank you.
Presentation by Smith, Sheldon, and Wilson LLC, and Ms. Belinda Fields is here with us.
Good evening. I've provided the board a copy of our quarterly report as of September 30th. We're pleased to be here with you this evening. On behalf of Smith Shelnut, we've been in partnership with the district, I believe since 2012, quite a number of years. And I am just one member of the team. Neither of the portfolio managers could join us this evening, but I'm going to do my best to go over what we do for the district. On page 2 of the report is just a breakdown by segments of what type of securities are held in the portfolio. Full faith and credit, that would be U.S. Treasury, Small Business Administration bonds, 22% of the portfolio. Just plain government agencies, another 4%. Mortgage-backed securities, 46%. Those are agency mortgage-backed securities like Ginnie Mae, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac securities. And then municipal bonds make up 27% of the portfolio. So the portfolio is very well structured by sector. Page 3 gives you a breakdown of the maturity distribution. The blue bars show where you have maturities from 0 out to 10 years. And as you can see, $3.4 million will be maturing within the next year, or 41% of the portfolio. Another 12% will be maturing within 2 years. That's 1.4 million of the 11.6 million total. That was intentional, that we kept maturities coming short because you all know we have been in an extremely low interest rate environment. We waited some time for the Fed to raise rates, and then the pandemic hit. So we're short, but that was intentional. As we look for rates to start moving back up, we'll be able to reinvest those maturities, or in the event you needed to have a drawdown or whatever, we could plan that into the maturity versus reinvestment. The weighted average life of the portfolio, that's the last line that's the last column on the right, is 3.67 years. That means that you've got a very short investment portfolio. Is targeted to be intermediate term, which is 3 to 7 years. You've got a relatively short portfolio for 16th section, which is perpetual dollars. The next page, page 4, starts the listing of each individual security that was owned as of September 30th. I'll call your attention to the last 3 columns, specifically on that page. The yield on cost shows you the level at which you own each bond. And then the S&P is Standard & Poor's, and then the Moody's ratings. That shows you the investment ratings by the rating agencies of every bond that you own. And as you can see, you have very high quality securities. which is really all that's acceptable for investment for school districts. Our portfolio managers follow the investments to the letter of the law as provided by the state of Mississippi. Everything you own is basically AA plus or AAA rated, depending upon the rating agency. So you've got a portfolio that, as of September 30th, had a market value of $11.6 million, with accrued interest of $36 million. And the yield on the portfolio as a whole, as of September 30th, was 1.79%. Page 8 goes into showing you anything that we purchased just during the quarter, and there were 2 bonds purchased during the quarter. Those were both there was a Mississippi taxable and SBIC, 2 bonds, and then the sales that are listed, those are maturities in the portfolio. We don't sell securities generally out of your portfolio. We buy securities to hold, and that way you're always getting where we book your yield, the yield on cost that's in that third column that we talked about. That is going to be what you earn on your security generally. So everything listed there on 8 and 9 are securities that matured during the quarter. Or it could have been a pay down if it were a mortgage back. But it looks like those were all SBICs pretty much. So they matured, a couple of munis matured as well. Municipal bonds, when I say munis. Page 10 just gives you some highlights of what the market value was on the portfolio, what the book value was, down from, just goes back 3 years. You've been invested a lot longer than that. You can see that the yield has declined, but that's expected in this extremely low interest rate environment that we have found ourselves in. The good news is that while you have things rolling off and maturing, when rates go up, we'll be positioned to invest in higher yielding bonds again. Not going to say we're going to get back to normal levels of what when we felt comfortable earning 5-6% on investments, but we won't stay at zero forever. Right now, I guess two things kind of drive what the Fed may do with rates. The Fed has a target for inflation of about 2%. Inflation's running about 3.5%. And another thing that's a driver is the wage level. Wages are up about 4.6%. So wage increases are outpacing inflation. So we'll have to keep an eye on what's going to happen with rates. Economists are saying that we'll be into 2023 and 2024. We'll look to see the Fed push interest rates up higher, and you'll reap the benefits of that.
The inflation you're talking about is inflation without gas and food. That's the calculation you're talking about?
Well, no, that's part of it too.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. But the PCI, there's some charts in the back that you can look over at, when you have more time to look at that, but that explains that. Let's see.
7 of 16 is the inflation.
7 of 16. Yeah, on the right, top of page 7 of 16, give you a breakdown of the CPI and core CPI. Core CPI, maybe what you are referencing there. Of course, at this time, we've seen unemployment come down a lot, which is a very favorable thing. Interest rates right now, we're looking at about rates from, looking at, 132 approximately on the 7-year. So we are not back to where we want to be, but rates are trending up some. The last thing I wanted to point out to you is, kind of what you want to know more than anything is, do you make money on what you have invested? Hopefully so. I think if we look at net deposits and withdrawals that have been made by the district, you have a net deposit and withdrawals that total about 9.5 million. So 9.5 million you have invested, and it was valued at 11.6 million. You've earned a lot of interest in this portfolio, and of course, it's 16 section principal. You can't spend the principal, but you can spend the interest if you needed to do that. I gave an example here on this sheet of just what kind of interest you're earning over a year's time. And this shows from 10/1 of 20 through 9/30 of 21. You earned approximately $181,681 in interest. So that's something that Ms. Hessian tracks, what you're actually earning on your investments, and something that is available to the district in the event the district decided to, have use of some of the interest. Overall, I'll just summarize by saying we're pleased with the performance of the portfolio. The portfolio is 3.67 years, which is a very good time range to be in as we look for rates to go higher. We have 16 districts that we invest for, school districts, and that totals about $130 million. I mentioned the portfolio managers. You have 2 chartered financial analysts that actually manage these investments, Frank Smith III and Dodd Williams. You can find their bios on our website, ssw1776.com. We do manage for school districts. We also manage for individuals, corporations, but our biggest group of clients are actually banks. We service the investment department for a number of banks, which gives us a total of $5.5 billion in assets under management. We're the largest registered investment advisor in Mississippi. We thank you for the partnership we have with you, and we're always available. Give us a call. If I can answer any questions, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item number 6. We have a presentation by Ms. Kristen Staples.
Hey, how are y'all?
Good, how are you?
So in the folder, I'm here to talk about the full clinic. So I know you're lots of samurai and I think you'll probably birthday. I'm with Prentice Primary Care. I'm a nurse practitioner of 18 years, mostly peds.
and Andy Robertson.
Andy's got a basketball game.
Yeah.
Jeremy's picking
Her
up.
mom told me.
Uh,
My niece. I'm not taking a picture.
Okay.
Just a little background information before you take the picture. These students were selected and they have to be in grades 11 through 12 or first year college as they serve as members of the State Superintendent's Advisory Council for a term of 2 school years. The council's purpose is to provide a forum for Mississippi students to offer diverse perspectives to the State Superintendent of Education. The selected students will act as liaisons between the Mississippi Department of Education and public school students from across the state. Students from different backgrounds, school sizes, and regions of Mississippi will be able to share their opinions and offer advice about educational opportunities and policies in Mississippi with Dr. Carrie Wright, State Superintendent of Education.
Thank you. Thank you for actually serving. I encourage you to speak up
Yes.
and tell, give y'all's perspective to our state superintendent so she can understand what's going on in the classroom. So thank you very much.
Also, we'd like to recognize the following students who were selected to represent Lamar County at William Carey University's Teacher Shortage Symposium held at William Carey University on Thursday, November 4th. These students did an amazing job and represented their school and district well. These students are Callie Graves, and we have one other student who we'll recognize during December's meeting who couldn't be here tonight.
Okay. I want to recognize Ms. Amy Reams as a teacher academy teacher. She's a teacher here, and Ms. Suzanne Kelly as our CTE director, who they're part of a CTE, they're part of our teacher academy. Won't you say? Where is?
She's great. Teacher Academy teacher. And this is our person who's over all the Teacher Academy and Technical Center stuff. We thank them very much.
Year 2?
I'm year 2.
Year
Yes,
2
sir.
of our teacher academy teacher. She's gonna come back. I've already recruited her to come back and teach in Lamar County. We'll have her a job waiting for her when she gets out of college. So thank you so much.
We have her contract tonight.
I think she's after your job, Dr. Harris.
All right, next, we would like to recognize our own Mrs. Helen Price, principal of Oak Grove High School, who was selected as the 2021 Mississippi Association of Secondary School Principals, High Schools Principal of the Year. Affiliate of the National Association of the Secondary Schools Principals. This was created in the 1960s to further the growth and development of secondary school principals in Mississippi by providing them with the resources and tools necessary to build leadership skills. The High School Principal of the Year award is given annually to one high school principal in each of the 50 states of the country based on nominations and votes from association members. Congratulations, Ms. Price.
Before Delta variant shut everything down, we were actually able to meet and have the conference, and I was able to attend her award ceremony. It was very special, a huge honor to be the state, one in the state secondary principal of the year. And so we appreciate it for all you do, and just now getting around to recognizing you publicly for it. But does a wonderful job for us, and we just appreciate it. Is there anything you'd like to say?
No, I appreciate it. It helps when you work in a wonderful district. And I appreciate the leadership in our district and the communities that we serve, and each community in our district just makes all the difference in the world. And of course, the teachers and the students that are working so hard every day in the classroom. So we appreciate it.
Sure.
So, couldn't do it without them.
That's exactly
That's
right. Exactly right.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm gonna ask Ms. Price to stay.
Yep.
And we'd also like to recognize Ms. Price and her leadership team, Ms. Vincent, and any other members of the leadership team that will come forward.
They all have assignments tonight, but Ms. Vincent to join me, which I'm grateful for.
All right, we're recognizing Oak Grove High School for being named to U.S. News and World Report's Best High Schools list. High schools are ranked based on their performance on state-required tests, graduation, and how well they prepare students for college. Oak Grove High School ranked number 10 in the state and number 1 in the Lamar County School District based on this data. Congratulations to Oak Grove High School, Ms. Price, and your team. Next, we'd like to recognize Oak Grove Middle School. Principal David Morgan couldn't be here tonight, so I'm going to ask his assistant principal, Jennifer Clark, to come forward. We'd like to recognize Oak Grove Middle School as well for being named to the U.S. News and World Report's Best Middle Schools list. Middle schools are ranked based on their performance on state required tests, graduation, and how well they prepare students for high school. Oak Grove Middle School was ranked number 18 in the state and number 1 in the Lamar County School District based on this data. Congratulations to Mr. Morgan, Ms. Clark, and the Oak Grove Middle School administration, faculty, staff, and students. All right, as you know, teachers work very hard to complete professional learning, and the backbone of the work that we do happens in our professional learning communities. So we'd like to recognize the following teachers for the work, their outstanding leadership in the work that they complete in our professional learning communities as recognized by their building level principal. So at this time, I'd like to recognize the following teachers from Oak Grove Middle School on behalf of their principal, Mr. David Morgan. First of all, we'd like to recognize Ms. Catherine Coleman, who serves as the 6th grade math PLC leader.
Ms. Clark, come on. Let's get a picture.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Lindsay McDonald, who couldn't be here tonight, she serves as the 6th grade English Language Arts PLC leader. Congratulations to Ms. McDonald. Ms. Carol Stanlin, who's here with us tonight, who serves as the 6th grade Social Studies PLC leader. And Ms. Ashton Sanford, who cannot be with us tonight, she serves as the 6th grade Science PLC leader. Thank you all so much for your leadership and what you give to our students and to our fellow teachers as PLC leaders. Thank you all so much. And finally, we'd like to recognize Ms. Stephanie Howard, also from Oak Grove Middle School, for outstanding leadership and service during our fall intersession. Ms. Howard served as Oak Grove Middle School's site coordinator and earned rave reviews from her colleagues, students during this time. Thank you so much, Ms. Howard, for all you've given and for your leadership during fall intercession.
I'll tell you, before we take a picture, I'll tell you this, that, we had a hugely successful intersection with our remediation and our enrichment programs that we had across our whole district. And the backbone of those programs were our site coordinators. They took it and ran, and they did a phenomenal job. And it was just a great time for our students. And I think it was a great time for our teachers too. We got really good feedback from our teachers that said that it was well organized. And then I want to thank you for all that. That concludes our recognitions.
Thank you, Dr. Gray. We're going to pause just a minute in our agenda here. If you would like to stay, you're more than welcome to stay. But if you do need to leave, we'll just pause for a minute and give you a chance, okay?
But you can't stay.
But you can stay.
But you can stay.
Yes.
Definitely, thank y'all. This is a copy of our contract. Right here. Sure. Thanks for talking. Thank you, Mr. Knight. Have a good night.
Okay, now that we're all dismissed. Thank you, Dr. Gray. All right, item number 8 is the approval of the October 18th, 2021 minutes. Have a motion. You need to have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 9 is the approval of the November 2nd, 2021 special call minutes. Have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 10 is the approval to advertise for bids for awning replacement and repairs at various locations. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a second, a motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 11 is the approval of the monthly financial report for September 2021. Have a motion.
So moved.
Have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 12 is the approval to advertise for bids for lawn care maintenance from March 2022 through October 2022.
May I ask a question?
Let's get a motion in a second, then we'll open the discussion.
Motion.
Motion, have a second for discussion.
Second.
Why do we not have somebody that just does this every day? I just thought this one was an odd. The lawn care maintenance.
No, we got to check.
They do, we did it. So we're talking about,
I guess I just thought that we had like staff on hand.
We employ people. too.
Thank you, that's the word I was
yeah,
looking
what
for.
you know,
So we bring in companies.
companies, yes,
Yeah.
yes, and we've got actually two, we've had two, one with Dilly for now. Two companies, one for north, one for the south, and it's, more cost effective to do it, then we don't have to maintain equipment.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for right there.
And we
Okay.
had a
Saves
crew,
money.
we had a crew not long ago, actually, and we couldn't keep a full crew.
Yeah.
And the crew that was left over couldn't keep up. So we had to do.
Gas and maintenance and.
It was
When they
right
break
before,
windshields like they did my car.
it was right before you came, I think,
Yeah.
when we were going through that, because it was, I thought it was gonna work great.
Because it feel like it would be so much
This
cheaper
works
just to have our own lawnmowers and since we have custodial staff and.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Nobody maintained them.
Right, so I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 13 is the approval to advertise for quotes for the 2021-2022 E-rate projects. I have a motion.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any one more eye?
Aye.
There we go.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 14 is the approval to advertise for bids on the Lumberton softball complex locker room, concessions, and press box. I have a motion. I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 15, approval to accept reverse auction bid of $1,270,880 for 611 Promethean interactive panels from Synergetics, thank you, to be paid using ESSER 2 funds.
So moved.
Second, motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Amen.
Any opposed? You got amen.
You got it.
You got an amen.
How many total classrooms do we have?
We got
That's
about
not all of them.
No, that's not,
No, no, no.
no, absolutely not. We got about 800 teachers, and so we, through the years, we've purchased.
775 classrooms, huh?
Yes, and, we actually have more than that. This is to purchase and, update and upgrade some of ours that the older ones that we have. And so, and we'll have no more projectors and, more tools.
Yes.
These all come with, they're like big screen TVs, but they're interactive panels. They come on, mounted on, bases or carts that the teacher can move around the classroom. And so she's not stuck to one wall, one place. And so they're, and I just told, intentionally here that they're actually sitting in a warehouse ready to go. And so they should be.
They're not on the
prepared.
ship.
They're not on the ship.
Thank goodness.
Not in the harbor somewhere. So we're actually excited about that. We've had several discussions about, getting them out and getting them trained.
Theoretically, this was one in every classroom.
Pretty much, yeah, absolutely, yes. But, every instructional space that we have.
All right, item number 16 is the approval to accept the bid of $120,480.94 from Sports 4 Inc. for the Oak Grove Middle School Gym Floor replacement. Have a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 17 is the approval for topographical survey of the Purpose High School Gymnasium by Andrews Engineering PLLC.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion, have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 18 is the approval of policies for review with no change recommended. And the policies are GBRG, GBRGB, GBRHA, GBRHB, GBRID, GBRJ, GBRL, GBRM, GBS, GC, and GCD.
I make a motion that we,
Make her read it again.
No, you're not. I
Then we approve those policies with no change.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, those.
All right. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you. I always hated it. That's the worst part. Item number 19 is the approval of change to policy JB and JB-P. Have a motion.
So moved.
Have a second. A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 20 is the approval of new policies, GBR and GBR-P. Have a motion. Have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Item number 21, Mr. Norton, Board Attorney matters.
A couple of months ago, we had an interlocal agreement between the school district and the sheriff's office. And by statute, we have to approve it. We send it into the board of supervisors. They approve it, and the sheriff approves it. And then it goes to the the attorney general's office for approval. When we send it over to the board of supervisors, they talk to the sheriff, and the sheriff did not approve it. And he was concerned because our language in there said that he was hiring deputies. And he said that he didn't feel like he was hiring the deputies that we're using. Tamika and I talked, and talked to the sheriff, talked to the board of supervisors. So the document that I sent around to you showed what the change was, and that is to say that the board of supervisors will be providing those deputies and that we will be reimbursing them. So it's the same basic document that we had a couple of months ago, but the actual employment is with the board of supervisors and not the sheriff's department.
It'd be the same as our teachers. I make the recommendation to the board for a teacher. Our board approves those teachers. They actually hire the teachers.
And so, maybe since we're actually using those employees. And so we're going to be reimbursing them, and we put the maximum is $56,700 per year.
I move to approve the modified.
Okay.
Agreement.
Have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Item number 22 are 16th section land manager matters.
I'm going to cover that for Kevin tonight. He only has one, and that was a 2-acre residential lease on Candy Church Road, priced for $10,000, which that's very good for the district when we got property in the rural area that's appraised at $5,000 an acre for a 2-acre park. Yes. But that results in a lease of $500 per year for the district.
Okay. So this is a 40-year residential lease for Curtis Campbell.
Correct.
All right.
Superintendent.
Superintendent, you
Yes,
good?
upper, yes, absolutely.
And we'll get it, maybe next one, the last one.
No.
All right, do I have a motion?
So moved.
And a second, have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. 23 is.
All right.
Okay.
Take a deep breath and let it rip, huh? All right, so I'll start out with COVID, but it's very positive COVID. Over the last 4 weeks, since we've been back from our fall break, we've only had 7 positive employees. In the last week, we had 0, 28 positive students and 0 last week. 13 employees quarantined and only 1 last week. 217 students quarantined, and over the last week, we only had 10 we reported quarantine. We had 1 outbreak in one of those 4 weeks, but we've had 0 outbreaks in the last 2 weeks. So I say those things because our numbers have just bottomed, and it's been amazing, and we are getting back to normal. And so what I want, we were going to have conversations, and we are getting in the process of getting people back in our buildings, our visitors, our parents, and our volunteers, and those things that we're going to actually have a principal meeting tomorrow. We're going to talk to the principals and come up with a plan to make sure that we can get back to serving our customers, who are our parents and our students. So, and so that I'm very excited about that. Veterans Day is Thursday, and there's too many. We've already attended one event, and there's too many in numerous ways. I'm very proud of how our schools are recognizing and honoring our veterans throughout the whole district. Every school is doing something to recognize our veterans, and I think that's amazing. Hopefully, as we've come out, again, those events take a lot of times will plan and get together. So we're still kind of seeing, so they're not back to where they used to be, but next year we're counting on that. For everyone listening, progress reports will go out next Wednesday, November 17th. So make sure you take your children's grade. We have set graduation dates. So some are all graduate on Thursday, May the 19th at 7 p.m. on the football field. Purvis High School will graduate Friday night on May the 20th at 7 p.m. Lumberton will graduate Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on May the 21st. And Oak Grove High School will graduate Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, May 21st at 7 p.m. on the football field. We do have a backup plan for weather. Two backup plans. We do, if we have to cancel for weather, then Sunday afternoon will be our backup date. If we have to, if it's still raining on Sunday, then we'll have to make other arrangements. Working right now with a teacher advisory council, and I want to give them a shout out. They've been very instrumental. We're looking at next year's academic calendar and have that plan to present to you guys next month. Last week was bus safety week for our district and our transportation. My hats off to our transportation department. They did a fantastic job. They had a color poster contest. They had videos out, quite colorful videos. If you haven't seen those, go watch some of those. They're really kids say the darndest thing kind of come to mind. But if anyone's listening out there in the webosphere on live streaming, we are looking for bus drivers. If you're interested in bus driving, I'm going to take a plug right now. If you're interested in driving for our transportation department, call our director, Mr. Smith, at 601-264-9633. We would sure be glad to have you drive a bus for us. I had the pleasure of attending both the 6A and the 4A state marching band competitions. So watch our high school and our Summerall High School bands compete in marching band. I was very, very honored and pleased, and they did very well. And so was glad to attend those things. Volleyball, swim, and cross country. They have already finished their season. Oak Grove High School and Lumberton are still playing football. They're in their first round of the playoffs this week. Oak Grove will be at home in Gulfport, and Lumberton will be at Sebastopol. In basketball, it's bouncing. So that season has already started. So we're in the midst of a lot of things going on in our district, a lot of great things that are going on in our district, and it's just exciting to be a part of it. Thank you.
Soccer's rolling.
Soccer's rolling. Yes, soccer's rolling. Thank you. I knew I had to leave one of them. Okay.
All right, any questions for Dr. Henry? Great, we'd like to break it down. All right, we'll move on to item number 24, which is to set the next regular scheduled meeting for December the 13th. We'll go to Summerall High School, beginning at 6 p.m. If everyone will check the calendar right quick, and we'll look at Jeremy. You're good. Everybody good with that?
I should be able to do it.
All right, I'll open the floor for a motion.
So moved.
I have a second. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. All right, item number 25 is our consent agenda. Mr. Braswell, any questions?
No questions.
Ms. Pinchel?
No questions.
Mr. Chance?
Oh, man.
Mr. Mayo? All right, open the floor for a motion.
Second.
A motion to have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. We have nothing under other, so we'll move to item number 27, which is to consider executive sessions.
I know what you consider executive session.
Hang on. Person, that's okay, that's okay. That's right. As long as you say what we gotta approve, we gotta consider. We got 3 personnel matters.
Yep.
And 2 board attorney matters.
Yeah, now I'm going to consider.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion that we enter executive session.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're in executive session. Thank you.
Didn't you have it in June?
You know that.